have a 3-bedroom house taken over by bandits. And at the end of the day, I got my freedom through a negotiation with these bandits, and they left me in my 3-bedroom flat. Hello, everyone. It's another beautiful day. Today, I want to really take us through something very, very important. And if you look at the pictures behind me, you can actually tell it's always going to be about Nigeria. I hope you are not going to get tired seeing my face, because most people on social media will rather prefer to watch gossips and all happenings in the world that are not things that can actually rescue us from where we are coming from. But I base my argument and my presentation and my videos on those unfortunate children in Nigeria that are being born or being given birth to every single day. From 0 to 10 years, you look at these children, and these children are so innocent that they don't understand what they've got in front of them, the war that they've got in front of them, because of the unfortunate country in which they were given birth to. But I don't want us to continue to see Nigeria as an unfortunate country. I want you to know that Nigeria is so blessed that you can never compare any part of the West to Nigeria. But unfortunately, Nigeria fell in the hands of criminals, people who think of nothing but themselves and their families. Now, for you guys that have managed to escape to the West, those in Europe, Asia, wherever you might have been, and you think, yes, I have escaped, I want you to have a little think about it. I'm sure every now and then, if you think about Nigeria, even though it's like you scrambled out and managed to escape that country, but every time you close your eyes, I'm sure there are things that you missed about Nigeria. So whether you are in diaspora or wherever you might be in part of this world, I just believe that you are one of those that will one day want to at least go back to Nigeria and be free. A Nigeria that is safe, a Nigeria that is working. One of the most happiest things that will come to you is to travel back home, see those people you left behind. Stay with them, spend some time with them, talk about old time's sake and things that have happened. For that reason alone, it is worth thinking about how we can turn Nigeria around. For the fact that you want to one day, those children that you are giving birth to in Europe, in Asia, wherever you are, that thought of one day taking these children back home. Some of you, when I watch some of us on YouTube, the way they castigate Nigeria, the way they talk about Nigeria, the way some of them will say they will never ever go back home. I don't blame you. That is exactly the truth. Because nobody wants to go back to a place that is not safe. Nobody wants to take their children on holiday to a place that is not safe. So if you are in diaspora, you have escaped. Yes, you are still part of this team that we need to put together. You still need to join that train to take us to the destination that we need to get to. You see this thing for the children, for those that are 0 to 15 years, those ones don't know where they are going yet. But for you that have been through a lot in Nigeria and you escaped, and you know that even as bad as Nigeria is, when you come to Europe, the first 3 months, you feel like going back there. That is where we need to fix. And if we continue to believe that these our leaders are monsters and they are beyond facing, then you haven't built that courage that you need or we need. We need people with courage that will be looking. I'm not talking about now, but what you are going to do tomorrow, what you are going to do next year, what you are going to do in 5 years' time. You don't wait until that time before you start planning. You start planning from now. And I am telling you that if we all decide to come together, work together, believe you me, the monsters that are destroying Nigeria, as I speak to you today, they won't last 6 months before we get the country that we need to get back. We need to take them out. And when I mean take them out, I'm not saying overthrowing the government like they always insinuate every little thing people say. It's like the only way they can push people back is to put some charges on them like treason for carrying placard. And it is only to discourage people from joining these forces. But believe you me, if we all agree that the problem that we've got is the same affliction from these leaders or ruiners that we call leaders, and we can all agree that yes, the time has come for us to take these people out, either democratically by electing somebody else or by revolution, a peaceful revolution. And like I keep saying, these people, they are just about 1 million or two maximum. The Nigerian people that are suffering and that are still going to suffer in the next 10 years to come if nothing is done are countless. And that is why we need to understand that we are afflicted by the same problem. The northerners, the southeast, the southwest, the middle belt, every part of Nigeria, we are all facing the same problem. Like many people will say, what the Yoruba buy is the same thing like the Hausa buy from the market. What the Kanuris buy is the same thing that the Ibibios buy in the market. Nobody has found anything in Nigeria a bit cheaper. Those that would have been managing their life with these difficult times would have been farmers because they will be able to farm and they will be able to harvest. And out of that, their harvest, they will feed themselves and sell the rest. But today, as we speak, even those farmers are finding it difficult. Not finding it difficult. They find it impossible to even go to farm. So yes, I agree with so many of us. Nigeria is finished. But I am telling you, even though it is finished, we can start building that new Nigeria that our children can be proud of. And it doesn't start by just saying it. It starts by actually getting involved. The further away you stay from solving Nigerian problem, the longer it will take for Nigeria for Nigeria's problem to be solved. I'm going to tell you 3 things today, and I will make it very, very quick. Why I always advocate for Nigeria to break up. Not because I want Nigeria to break up, but because if you look at so many things that is happening in Nigeria, you will understand that 90% of what is happening to the ordinary Nigerian people are actually things that are manufactured by our leaders and our elites. I would have wanted us to have one Nigeria. But because we have diverse culture, diverse religion, and then we have leaders who have decided to make sure that this religion and tribe are actually the weapon that they use in order to destabilize and disorganize the Nigerian people. But rather than we selling our properties in order to send our children abroad, if we spend 50% of that energy to encourage ourselves, believe you me, we will take our country back. Now, if you look at the numbers of years that Nigeria have been in existence, let's talk about from the time when we had the regional system, when the regions were not working, or when one Nigeria wasn't working after the amalgamation of the Southern Protectorate and the Northern Protectorate. Nigeria wasn't working. It has to take a meeting, an agreement that if it's not working, okay, why don't everybody stay on their own? And that's how we have the eastern part of Nigeria, the northern part of Nigeria, the western part of Nigeria, and then we have the middle belt, I believe, at that time. Because they discovered that things are not working. But the biggest problem of it all, I don't always like to blame the North for what is happening in Nigeria today. But I'm going to tell you why I feel that the northern part of Nigeria contributes about 80% of the drawback that we are having in Nigeria. I spent most of my life in the north, and I know the ordinary Nigerian people or the northern people, how sweet, how nice they can be. But you see that feudalistic system that happened at the time when the British were about to leave Nigeria, that system of the North, the indirect rule, where you can rule people through a chief, through a king, through an emir. But the difference between these three regions at that time was that the northern region, they just listened to their emirs and their kings. If they say go left, they go left without asking question. If they say go right, they go right without asking question.